Today we're going to be reading a passage on the rock cycle. It's going to have some review of the stuff that we talked about yesterday. It's got some questions at the end of the passage that you're going to need to make sure that you answer. I'm going to go through as I'm reading it. I'm going to annotate some stuff, underline stuff, just because that's what you guys should be doing as well. All right, so the rock cycle. Says the rock cycle is a group of changes. Igneous rock can change into sedimentary rock or into metamorphic rock, which again, that's something that we should have remembered and learned from yesterday. Sedimentary rock can change into metamorphic rock or into igneous rock. Metamorphic rock can change into igneous or sedimentary. So something to remember is all can become another. So it's not one is set in stone it's always going to be this rock. It can always be changing into sedimentary or metamorphic or igneous. So igneous rock forms when magma cools and makes crystals. Magma is a hot liquid made of melted minerals. The minerals can form crystals when they cool. Igneous rock can form underground where the magma cools slowly. Or igneous rock can form above ground when the magma cools quickly. So essentially, it's either when magma cools slowly underground or it's cooling above ground and it cools quickly. Okay. This should look familiar. Again, this is something that we saw yesterday. When it pours out of Earth's surface, magma is called lava. Yes, the same liquid rock matter that you see coming out of volcanoes. On Earth's surface, wind and water can break rock into pieces. They can also carry rock pieces to another place. Usually, the rock pieces, called sediments, drop from wind or water to make a layer. The layer can be buried under other layers of sediment. After a long time, the sediment can be cemented, hopefully that word sounds familiar, together to make sedimentary rock. In this way, igneous rock can become sedimentary rock. All rocks can be heated, but where does the heat come from? Inside the earth, there's heat from pressure. And you can make this happen as well. If you press your hands together very hard, you can feel the heat. There is heat from friction. So if you take your hands and you rub them together like this, that can cause friction, which can cause heat. There's also heat from radioactivity decay. The process, this is important, the process that gives us nuclear power plants that make electricity. So, what does the heat do to the rock? Baked rock does not melt, but it does change. It forms crystals. If it has crystals already, it forms larger crystals. Because this rock changes, it is called metamorphic. Remember, we learned yesterday that when rock changes, it's morphing, like the Hulk. Remember that a caterpillar changes to become a butterfly. That change is called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis can occur in rock when they are heated to 300 to 700 degrees Celsius. When Earth's tectonic plates move around, they produce heat. When they collide, they build mountains and morphose the rock. So essentially that's when it starts to change the rock. The rock cycle continues. Mountains made of metamorphic rocks can be broken up and washed away by streams. New sediment from the mountains can make new sediment rocks. And the rock cycle never stops. So it's a continuous thing that happens nonstop all the time. All right, and you'll notice this is part 1. So if you do not print this out, you need to make sure that you label your paper part 1. You answer these questions. You're going to need to draw this graph, answer these 2 questions, and then part 2, you have to answer these questions down here. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know.